I always have to remind myself whenever I am riding my motorcycle, especially when I am vlogging, which is most of the time. There's a litany I have to go through, and the litany has been reduced now to gloves last. I always put on my gloves last. So the first thing you do is you put on your do-rag so you don't get your helmet all stinky. Then you put on the helmet and secure it nice. Then you stick the camera in there, and then you put on your gloves. Many a day of frustration has resulted from my not doing that. Alright, here we go. Riding along, folks, riding along. On this beautiful day in May. Alright, in my last video I talked about why we're so afraid. What can I think about today in this video? I'd like to talk about the internet and how it has changed so many things. And you probably all know this already, but maybe some of you hadn't really thought about it, so it could be interesting for some. As a teacher, I have gone totally digital. Well, not totally digital. Let me rephrase that. I've gone mostly digital. And the reason is I have not yet purchased an iPad. But when I do, I will be totally digital. Right now, my textbooks and my classes are actual physical books. My students don't have to buy physical books. They can buy digital and have it on their iPads or Kindles, whatever they have. I still use the old-fashioned book because I haven't bought an iPad yet, and I know the school's not going to buy one for me. So there's that. But all my tests are online. All of my assignments are online. My students email me their assignments. I have an online shell. That's what they call it, where your class is virtually online. So Blackboard is what my school uses. So they have to check Blackboard for their assignments. And even when I'm teaching, I put all the notes in a Microsoft Word document on the screen. I pull the screen down and I have the projector so my students can see all the notes, examples and things, how to use commas, correct verb tenses, that kind of stuff. And at the end of class I upload that document onto Blackboard, and then they can review it. And then because I do it every semester, I have 2 or 3 years worth of notes from almost every day of class, so they can read ahead if they want, look at the notes from past classes. It helps them prepare for their tests, which are also online on Blackboard. Maybe you say, well, don't they cheat? Nah. I found that my students, because they're English as a foreign language students, they tend to not want to cheat. And even if they did, how would you cheat? Well, you would probably ask an American to do the test for you. You don't want to do that, because I noticed that the Americans on these overt grammar exercises actually do worse than the EFL students a lot of times, which is ironically funny. So there's that. And there's this new thing that I've learned. It's called Camtasia, where you can record what your computer screen looks like while you're talking on your headphones, and then you can upload it. So I have a couple of videos on my teacher site. If you want to see my teacher site, it's MikeHaley7777, and that's my teacher site. So I have like how to format a document for MLA using Microsoft Word. Right now I got another video on how to register for classes at Wake Tech, and I'll keep adding more videos as time goes on. Eventually we're going to have it so that you record every class that you teach, and you can save it up on Blackboard, which is kind of scary, because then who's to say that the school even needs you anymore now that they've got all your lessons in video. But that's the way things are going. Does anybody remember having to go to the library to find information on something? Even the simplest of things, you had to call around, go to a library, look things up in the card catalog. The very first paper I ever wrote, I had to type it on a typewriter. God, I hated that. I was so happy that computers came into usage in school. By the time I went to college, it was just starting. I used a program called Bank Street Writer to write my paper, and God, that was primitive. All function keys, Shift F8, Shift F9. And there was no mouse. The first time I saw a mouse, I thought, whoa, what's that? I was scared. Like it's going to be more complicated. Computers have gotten so much easier to use. Now you can look up the spelling of a word in 2 seconds flat. You can look at the location of anything, definition of anything, and I think it's having an effect on people. I think nowadays you don't really have to know anything, you just have to know how to find things. I'm not sure that's a good thing or not. I still have students asking me questions like, Mr. Jones, can you tell me what a good calculator would be for math class? So, well, I don't really teach math, but you could Google it. So they look at me like, really? You can Google that? Yeah, go to Google and type in, what's a good calculator for a math class? And then boom, I found the HP 50. You can buy it very easily. It's $50 on eBay. I found all that out in 10 seconds flat, instead of having to go find a math teacher and ask them what they think. Boom, Google. Would I go back to the old way? No, thank you. I love technology. Big fan, big fan. So anyway, just a little vlog on how I use technology in my teaching. I hope you're all doing good, doing well, as they say. Superman does good, people do well. That wasn't the prettiest of turns, but at least I didn't have to put my foot down this time. So yay.